Let's talk about the latest update that Google has come out with. Now, this is some pretty insane stuff, okay? Google is really pushing the boat out with what they're doing right now. Now, there's loads of things to talk about, but in today's video, we're going to be focusing on what I personally think is the most useful update that they've come out with, which is deep research. Now, one really interesting thing before we get into this is Google is scraping people's websites that clearly some of these websites will have in their TOS that scraping is not allowed. So something very interesting is going on here. It'll be very interesting to see what happens, but let's just show just how good this is. Now, this is definitely much better than Perplexity. What we use Perplexity for is finding out information about a topic that we might not necessarily have information on, or that the LLM that you're using might not have information on, and then we write an article using that information. Now, Gemini Deep Research is even better than Perplexity. It's currently free, so definitely try this out. If you're wondering how to get it, guys, you can just search for Google Deep Research AI on Google, and then scroll down to where it says Deep Research is rolling out today in Gemini Advance, and then press Try Gemini Advance here. This will bring you to this ChatGPT style conversation box. Top left, click here, and press 1.5 Pro with Deep Research. Okay, so I'll just use an example that I saw in another video. Basically, I'll ask Perplexity the same question with Perplexity Pro, and I'll say, how long until we have AGI? And we'll just ask this question. And then we'll do the same thing here with deep research. Now, one thing is deep research does take quite a long time. It's definitely accurately named with deep research. But what it seems like they've done is they've kind of copied Perplexity, as you can see. They're very, very similar. So, but you can kind of see that Google has a much more refined process here. So you can see research websites. So it's created these questions. It'll scrape all of those websites, analyze the results, create a report, and be ready in a few minutes. So I'll just press Start Research here. As you can see, one thing that Perplexity does do better is speed. So it's much quicker here. But let's just read through some of this while we're waiting for the other one. So the timeline for achieving artificial general intelligence remains a topic of intense debate and speculation among experts in the field. While predictions vary wildly, there's a general consensus that AGI could become a reality within the next few decades, with some optimistic estimates pointing to the near future and others suggesting a longer time frame. Some AI researchers and industry leaders believe AGI could arrive sooner rather than later. No surprise that it's all of the people who have a vested interest, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. So Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, expects significant progress towards AGI by the end of this decade. Dario Amodei, who is an Italian-American, that's why I said his name like that, CEO of Anthropic, believes we might see some form of AGI by 2026. Again, someone with a heavy vested interest in AGI. Shane Legg, co-founder and chief AGI scientist at Google DeepMind, estimates a 50% chance of AGI development by 2028. Midterm projections, many experts and surveys suggest AGI might be achieved around mid-century. The 2022 expert survey, Progress in AI, involving 738 experts, estimates a 50% chance of high-level machine intelligence by 2059. Conservative estimates, factors including AGI development, potential milestones, conclusion. Now, one thing that I will say for Perplexity is they always seem to have the exact same formatting, and it seems to always put the interesting things at the top and then the less interesting things further down, which you could say was some kind of bias. So that's definitely an interesting point there. Let's just go back to Google Deep Research. Remember, this is completely free. Technically, this is also free because I'm not paying for Perplexity, and I did use Perplexity Pro Search here. So now Google is finalizing what it's doing here. It's creating the report. These are the 50 websites that I don't want to say illegally, but it's scraped when, I'm not really sure they're allowed to scrape all of these websites. I'm not really sure how this works. Like if I go on, so like something like Reddit, they have an API, right? But scraping the service without Reddit's prior written consent is prohibited. So like according to their user agreement, you cannot scrape their website, but Google is, and Perplexity does, and ChatGPT does. I think ChatGPT has a deal with Reddit, but I'm not sure the other ones do. Again, I'm not trying to, not legal advice, etc., but I'd just be very curious to know, like, is this actually allowed, and are there going to be consequences for these actions? I really just don't know. It's very, very interesting to me. With scraping, it just seems like it's a wild, wild west, and anyone just does whatever the hell they want, which is pretty interesting, to be honest with you. Now, this does take a little bit longer, but I'll show you in a minute just how much better the result is. I really, really like the result from this. This would probably be something that would be adding to Harbor, and this is something that you should definitely be adding to your SEO workflows, because one thing that LLMs miss sometimes is third-party or external knowledge. So if you can find a way to quickly give that third-party external knowledge to the LLMs, then you've got a real advantage here. Another thing that this will probably be very, very good for is keyword research. It might be good for scraping. I'm not 100% sure. You might be able to get like images and links from these websites. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'll definitely be experimenting more with this in the future. So you can press open in Docs here. This will then create a Google document, and then we'll press open here. And then you can see that this is just a much, much more refined, much better summary of the topic. Look at that, beautiful. And then it has all the works cited at the bottom here. So this, for me, is much, much better than Perplexity. It's also free right now. This could probably just be an article, to be honest with you, 3,149 words. The way that it's laid out, this is an article, okay? This would probably rank on Google just from what we've created here. That's actually kind of crazy. So yeah, I mean, that's super interesting. I would say this was an article in itself, 3,000 words it just generated in a very, very short amount of time. At the very least, this is a good base for an article, but you could literally just add a few internal links, add a few images, and you're pretty much done. That's very, very impressive, to be honest with you. Okay, so I don't think we're going to read through this. I'll leave a link to this in the description if you do want to read through it. But you can see that just the quality of the research and the end result is just far superior to Perplexity, and it's completely free for now, which is absolute madness. We'll leave the video there, guys. Please check this out. You can find it on gemini.google.com. Top left, just press 1.5 Pro with deep research. This isn't even using the new Flash model, which we're going to get into very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're watching all the way to the end of the video, you're an absolute legend, and I'll see you very, very soon with some more content. Peace out. Watch this video if you want some secret sauce on how we build topical authority for our clients.